Let's start first story. It was a chilly winter day and my two friends and I were engaged in a game. The clock struck 12 or 1 p.m. as we played. During the course of our game, the ball unexpectedly veered into a sizable bush. Both of my friends hurriedly went to retrieve the ball, but after a brief search, they sprinted away from the field, urgently beckoning me to join them. Intrigued and perplexed, I inquired about the situation, but all they insisted on was my immediate presence. Curiosity piqued, I followed their hurried instructions and reached the location where they stood. As I approached, I spotted the ball and pondered why they had abruptly abandoned their search. Upon bending down to pick up the ball, my eyes were met with an unsettling sight, a set of soiled, cloudy clothes concealing a ghastly greenish heel. Without hesitation, my instincts triggered a rapid flight response, propelling me towards my friends. Together, we hastily retreated home. Upon sharing our bewildering encounter, we realized that we had all witnessed the same eerie spectacle. To this day, when I reflect on that incident, my mind vividly conjures the image of those cloudy clothes and the unsettling greenish feet. Let's start second story. Hey, I'm Alex, a young college student working the night shift at a convenience store in Madisonville, Tennessee. I took this job to save up for tuition since my family isn't well off and my academic and artistic pursuits didn't quite pan out. The routine can be dull, but there's a certain tranquility to organizing shelves, helping customers, and sneaking in some study time. Adjusting to working nights is a challenge, but the quiet town atmosphere has its own charm. The soft glow of the store lights on the pavement and the constant hum of the refrigerator create a unique setting. Despite occasional mundane moments, there's a strange comfort in being here while the world sleeps, earning a few bucks for my future. Now, onto the unusual part. Last night, my coworker Jordan, who has a mysterious background, mentioned a suspicious person lingering around the store. We decided to inform Mrs. Rodriguez, our boss, who's an elderly and respected figure in town. She assured us we're safe, even providing a panic button and access to a security system. After Jordan left for the night, things got interesting. A customer resembling the suspicious person came in, but they turned out to be harmless. However, a strange feeling lingered, and a dark corner of the store caught my attention. The atmosphere got tense, and I heard peculiar noises, making me think someone was in the store. I pressed the panic button and sought refuge in the storage room. Mrs. Rodriguez and Officer Martinez arrived later, but they claimed I'd been missing for 3 days. Confused, I shared my experience, and they seemed baffled. Now, Mrs. Rodriguez has given me a choice: leave with compensation or continue working, knowing the risks. She wants to discuss it further at a local cafe. As if that weren't enough, I woke up to find a peculiar can at my door labeled Canned Jordan, making me nauseous. Now, I'm torn in seeking advice. Should I continue working the night shift or not? Let's begin third story. In the past several months, life has taken a challenging turn. It's not the usual suspects like work, health, or relationships that trouble me. It's an inexplicable sense of disconnection and belonging simultaneously. The feeling of not fitting in is a universal experience, whether with family, the place we were raised, or even the country we inhabit. Despite this commonality, the sense of belonging eludes me. No one has ever pointed to me and said, your place is with me. Things reached a breaking point during a casual hangout at the local bar with friends. Without warning, I walked away from the conversation, and oddly, nobody stopped me, almost as if they were as disconnected from me as I felt from them. Some may attribute it to depression or paranoia, but it felt different this time. In late August, after turning 28, I decided to treat myself with a bit of indulgence. As I walked home from work, contemplating whether to get chocolate or caramel, I stumbled upon an old-fashioned video store, surviving in the digital age. The nostalgia hit me hard as I entered, greeted by neon signs proclaiming videos and DVD. The owner, a quirky character in his late 50s with a skater's attire from the 90s, nodded at me and returned to the TV he was watching. Intrigued, I began exploring the sections marked with laminated pages straight out of classic PowerPoint. Nostalgia gripped me as I lingered in the horror section, recalling the days of renting movies and escaping reality. The owner recommended a peculiar tape, and as I watched, the realism unnerved me. The voyeuristic scenes of a couple's life felt too authentic to be staged. Despite my initial discomfort, or maybe because of it, I found myself drawn in. The owner, sensing my interest, played another tape. This time, a burnt and bloodied figure emerged from the flames, screaming my name. The experience haunted me, and when the third tape was mentioned, I fled the store in a panic. Flashes of TVs, doors, and the outside world blurred as I ran home. The shadows in my house now danced like flames, and the memory of those tapes lingers, burning into my mind. My sense of not belonging has intensified, and even my home feels like a stranger's abode. Months later, the effects persist, and I caution others against watching the tapes in the video store backroom. Some memories may be better left unexplored. Our last and fourth story. As a child, I never harbored dreams of becoming an archaeologist. While other kids fantasized about discovering dinosaurs or unearthing lost tombs, my aspirations leaned toward the stars. I wanted to be an astronaut. A cliché dream perhaps, but the vast infinite sky held less allure for me than the finite hidden treasures beneath the Earth's surface. The decision to embark on a dig now makes sense to me, but when I first encountered the bone, its significance eluded me. There must have been something about it that hinted at its uniqueness, triggering a deep-seated need to uncover the secrets hidden beneath the soil. It all began a month ago during a routine hike near my town. The trail, unpopular but manageable, wound through desert rocks, providing a decent challenge for my aging knees. I had traversed the path numerous times without incident, yet the bone had never caught my eye before. I rounded a corner and spotted what I initially mistook for a white rock protruding from the sand. Inconspicuous as it was, the desire to unveil what lay beneath overwhelmed me. I likely didn't comprehend the significance of that moment at the time, how far-reaching its consequences would be. Dusting it off with my sleeve, I discovered an old, porous yet smooth white stone with a sickly yellow hue reminiscent of death. Despite its seemingly ordinary nature, my hand instinctively reached out to touch it. The bone was cold, chilling enough to make me pull back, but the desire to uncover its secrets persisted. I tugged, clawed at the soil, revealing a depth beyond my initial expectations. I finished my hike, carried the peculiar stone home, ignorant of its importance. That night passed uneventfully, but when I woke the next day, an irresistible urge drew me back to the bone. Armed with a small trowel, I began to dig. The hole deepened, revealing a complex structure, wider, thinner, branching shortly before its apparent end. I persisted, driven by a compulsion to unearth my discovery. After reaching a depth of 10 feet, my efforts bore fruit. Another bone, this one seemingly less significant, a skeletal hand grasping upwards. The discovery shocked me to my core. I refrained from contacting the authorities, fearing they would seize my finding. Obsessed, I abandoned work to return daily to the bone. The weeks passed in a relentless cycle of excavation, discarding tools for the satisfaction of feeling dirt beneath my nails. The pain, the screams, the tears accompanied each new discovery, yet the bone seemed unending. I descended further, unaware that rain had eroded my exit stairs until the moment I realized escape was impossible. Undeterred, I continued to dig, sleep, and excavate, trapped in my self-imposed prison. I write this as a whim, a testament to my former self who would have wished for salvation. My location remains undisclosed, my findings safeguarded against potential thieves. As I sink deeper into this pit, I imagine the bone's end must be near. It has to be.